and we'll fly. Oh, we'll fly away, away, away. Yeah.
Hello, it's your boy Davidoff and welcome back to Movie Monday. I just watched the first movie of the 6 millennial Godzilla movies. I'm going to watch them all in this episode. By the way, I watched other movies actually on Monday because I didn't sleep all night, so I thought I'd just keep myself up for a bit, then go to sleep. I watched, wait, hold on a second, I've lost the, oh there we go, right, cool. I watched The Mysterians, Varan the Unbelievable, and Frankenstein Conquers the World. So yeah, I enjoyed all of those. I thought they were all pretty fun movies. The Mysterians actually, it included, I think Megaguirus, I think it was a mecha monster that was used in Godzilla vs. the Space Godzilla. So it was good to see that monster again, like an old version of it. So that was pretty interesting. So I watched those 3 movies. But anyway, yeah, I just watched the 1999 Godzilla movie, and it's called Godzilla 2000. So yeah, I think it's called that because 2000 is coming up in the movie. I have no idea, but the movie takes place over like a few days, I think, like a couple days. Godzilla's shown like straight away. Like in most monster movies, they wait. But this Godzilla, they show it literally straight away. Literally, like he's there in like almost the first scene. It starts with a chase scene, and that chase scene was good. That was pretty intense. Really good way to start the movie. But yeah, Godzilla's got a different design in this. It looks pretty interesting. It still looks cool. Still looks like Godzilla. Looks very different to the previous Godzilla actually. You can clearly see that he's changed. That the design is different, but you still know it's Godzilla. And it looks massive as well. Pretty sure it's the biggest one so far chronologically. Pretty sure the 2014 one's bigger, but we're not there yet. But still, yeah, that was really cool to see. It was really cool to see. I still prefer the previous version though. The Heisei Godzilla for me is the favourite one. I just really like the Heisei Godzilla. But he was pretty cool as well. And there's also like, well, at the start Godzilla's on a rampage, or a little bit of a rampage, and the army goes to fight him. And there's a guy, I think, is he leading the army? I don't know, he's just a guy that wants to kill Godzilla basically, and the army handle him pretty well. I mean, they don't let him get close, they keep firing at him, which is pretty cool. But elsewhere there's a UFO, and the UFO was stuck. It wasn't stuck, but it was underwater, and eventually it broke free. Apparently it's it doesn't really work at nighttime, I think. Actually it did at the end, but for like half the movie. It needed daylight to actually like fly, but eventually it flew towards Godzilla and attacked Godzilla. So that was pretty interesting. So clearly there's aliens in that UFO probably. And yeah, eventually what it leads up to is basically the army's attacking Godzilla. Then the UFO comes and attacks Godzilla. And there's like 2 different parties there. There's the guy who wants to kill Godzilla. Then there's the other like family who want to research and study Godzilla, to study other things. So that's pretty interesting. To see 2 sides to that, 2 perspectives towards Godzilla from a human perspective. So yeah, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. But eventually you get the final battle where the aliens fight Godzilla. The aliens form into a monster. I think it's called Orga. I'm pretty sure it's called Orga. It was called Millennium at one point, I think. I saw 2 names on Wikipedia. I think it said Millennium and Orga. I'm pretty sure it's the same thing, but different. Basically, Orga is the final form of a monster that the aliens form into, and he's made out of like similar things to Godzilla. So he's very durable as well, and you get some epic monster battle. Monster battle. Godzilla destroys the UFO first of all. Then there's some big fights, and this monster Orga, it's powerful. It just keeps getting up. Godzilla just can't destroy it, and it's just really crazy to see. But the way Godzilla kills him is crazy. Like literally that thing, Orga, tries to eat him alive. A bit like a snake. How a snake would eat a crocodile or something. Or an alligator. Yeah, I guess that's a cool similarity. Even though it's not a snake, Orga, but still it was swallowing Godzilla. But eventually, oh yeah, I forgot to mention by the way. One thing I like about Godzilla's design, his new design, I like how it glows purple at the back. And I like how his atomic breath is reddish. It looks really cool. The effects looked really cool. Like whenever he breathed out those atomic rays, those are just cool to look at. Those are really good to look at. So I really enjoyed those parts. But at the end, literally Godzilla's half eaten, half swallowed alive, and from the inside he fires his atomic breath straight inside the body of Orga and destroys from the inside. That is a crazy way to kill him. That is ridiculous. So yeah, that was awesome. That was basically like most of the movie. Also, Godzilla killed the guy who wanted to kill him. Killed the human being who was going to kill him. So that was pretty interesting as well. But yeah, I liked this new design. Is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And the next movie is Godzilla vs Megaguirus. I don't know what Megaguirus is. I have no idea, but we're going to see in a second. So yeah, let's go and watch it. Alright, so Godzilla vs Megaguirus was pretty good. I enjoyed it. They started off showing the footage from the original movie for Godzilla, except they used the new Godzilla for those clips. Basically, they showed similar scenes to the original Godzilla movie, but with the new Godzilla in this period, which is pretty cool. They connected it basically. It's a follow-up to the original movie, and even the last movie as well that I watched, Godzilla 2000. That's also a follow-up to the original movie, and so the next two movies apparently also the same, a follow-up to the original movie, which is pretty interesting. Instead of like doing sequel to sequel, they put them all as sequels to the original, which is an interesting way to go. But that's how they're doing it, and yeah, it's pretty cool. It's the same design as the last movie, of course. Yeah, it's Megaguirus is a giant dragonfly, pretty much, like a huge dragonfly. First of all, there's dragonflies like there's prehistoric dragonflies. They're called Megaludon, I think. Hold on, let me just. I should probably have it up on my phone. Meganulon when they're in lava states. Then when they get wings, is Meganula, or the other way around. Either way, those are the names. These dragonflies, they're a bit bigger than humans. Like, it's pretty big for a dragonfly, but they're a bit bigger than humans, pretty much. And some of them actually eat humans in this movie. I think at least one of them does anyway. It takes away a couple humans. But yeah, it's pretty scary because there's a lot of them. There's like a whole swarm of these dragonflies, which is pretty crazy. And eventually you get to see them fight Godzilla, which is interesting because usually you get to see Godzilla fight other monsters, or one monster, one big one or two big ones. But this one, he was fighting like a lot of little ones, and that was an interesting aspect of it because it's kind of interesting how he'd handle smaller ones instead of like one big one. So that was pretty interesting. Pretty much at the beginning, there's soldiers, and Godzilla kills all of them pretty much, apart from this one woman who vows to finish the mission to try and kill Godzilla, and she gets involved with making a weapon. I can't remember what it's called. Tide something. I can't remember. I've forgotten now for some reason. It was a cool name as well. But they use the weapon from a satellite. They need Godzilla on land first, and they need to like fire it at Godzilla. It's like a black hole sort of weapon thing, which is pretty interesting. And yeah, when they first lure him to an island because they need him on land, on uninhabited islands, and they're about to shoot when the dragonflies come in. A whole swarm of dragonflies just come in, and suddenly there's no lock on. There's no lock on to these to Godzilla, so they can't kill him. But he fights these dragonflies. He kills a lot of them. They try to get energy from him as well. They try to dig into his skin, and they do that as well for a little bit. But he breaks out of it eventually. Uses atomic breath a couple times, and he destroys most of them. But some of them are still there, to be fair. But yeah, and then they get the lock on, they fire it at Godzilla, and he survives. Either they just missed or it just didn't work for whatever reason. Pretty sure one guy said it wasn't ready anyway, and they were too quick to use it. And this woman who wanted revenge, she was just like, we gotta use it. So yeah, that was pretty interesting. And yeah, eventually Megaguirus comes up. Megaguirus doesn't appear till like halfway through the movie. So these dragonflies, they dig into a little body like under the water, I'm pretty sure, and that massive body is Megaguirus. It's a giant, like a huge dragonfly, a lot bigger than all these swarm of these little ones, these human-sized ones. And yeah, when you finally see it, it looks scary. And that's what you expect from a monster. You want it to look scary, but damn it, it's ugly. It looks so ugly, like the face, the mouth, and the eyes is just like, oh dear, you wouldn't want to look at that. That's all I'm saying. It's scary though. It's scary. It looked pretty scary. And yeah, eventually in the final battle, it fights Godzilla, and it is an epic battle. It's awesome. It's really cool, and the Megaguirus is quick as well. It's like it flies around really fast. And it had your pan on Godzilla, to be fair, but eventually, I think its tail was its stinger, I think, for Megaguirus. tries to go in Godzilla's mouth with its stinger, and Godzilla just bites it off, and then he wins it from there because it's an agonizing pain. Megaguirus and Godzilla, that's my phone, sorry, and Godzilla just atomic breaths him, and yeah, he just destroys Megaguirus, just absolutely destroys him. But still, like before that, it was a good battle, like a really good battle. But I really enjoyed that. Like that last battle was really cool. Actually, after this, they used the weapon again on Godzilla, and they apparently killed him. At least I thought they did, because I assumed, because he was gone. Like they used the weapon on him, and he was destroyed. He was gone. I think the black hole thing took him away or something. But then there's an after credit scene, and you don't see Godzilla, but you hear his roar. You see some kid going around some place, then you hear Godzilla's roar, and that's where it ends. And I'm like, okay, I guess he survived that then. So yeah, that was pretty cool. I didn't expect an after credit scene, to be fair. I'm pretty sure none of them had them so far, unless I missed it. But I tend to skip to the end just in case. And yeah, I saw that and I was like, okay, so he survived. The next one is, what is it? Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah. Giant monsters all out attack. That is a mad name. It's quite long, the name, but it's a mad name. I'm looking forward to that. King Ghidorah's back, and Mothra as well. Looking forward to it. So yeah, let's watch it. Alright, so obviously sequel to the original movie. The village that Godzilla first appears in the first original movie, when he first goes on a rampage through a village, that same village is shown in this movie as well. And he goes through the same rampage again in that same village. That was a pretty interesting callback. A nice referencing there. But eventually, 3 guardian monsters are woken up to defend Japan against Godzilla. So that's pretty interesting. The 3 monsters are Baragon, Mothra, and King Ghidorah. It's pretty interesting to see King Ghidorah as a guardian, rather than, usually it's him causing the destruction, and Godzilla not trying to stop him, but fighting him off. Even though Godzilla causes destruction as well, but still, it's pretty crazy to see the roles reversed in a way. But yeah, Baragon takes him on first, takes on Godzilla first, and to be honest, he's no match for Godzilla. He pretty much gets destroyed. Then eventually, the final battle, Godzilla fights Mothra and King Ghidorah. They don't really attack him at the same time, I don't think. Sometimes they do, like at some points they do, but most of the time they go one-on-one. Just go at the same time, like surely that would. But anyway, still, it was still like this final battle. Like before the final battle, I was like, this is okay. This is okay. It's nothing that special, but it's okay. But that final battle, that went on for so long, and that was a good fit in a good way. I mean, that went on for so long. It was just one long epic battle. Like I really enjoyed it. Even had some breaks in the middle as well with human scenes as well. But most of it was just really good battles. It was really fun. I hope the 2019 movie, because the final battle contained Mothra, Godzilla, and King Ghidorah, who are all in the 2019 movie. So I hope to see similar scenes, because if we get like a massive battle like that, I'd be very happy. I'd be very happy. But yeah, it's a prolonged battle, but eventually Godzilla kills Mothra, and I'm pretty sure her energy transfers to King Ghidorah, because King Ghidorah gets a lot stronger after she dies. Which might be the reverse of the movie in 2019, because maybe in 2019 Godzilla gets energy from Mothra. It's a rumor, by the way. It's just a rumor I've heard. I've watched a lot of theory videos on Godzilla. And King Ghidorah, for a while, he has the upper hand until accidentally a submarine. There's humans as well trying to kill Godzilla as well. They want to find a way to kill him, and they have a weapon that can. And there's a guy in a submarine, and he shoots. Godzilla turns around and it hits King Ghidorah. It's just, it was pretty funny. There's some things said in this movie as well that are really funny. I wish I wrote them down because I've forgotten them now. But there are some funny things that people screamed that were just really funny to listen to. I was like, okay, okay. But yeah, eventually Godzilla wins. He's OP in this movie. I mean, he's very villainous, obviously, and he's taking them run out. And then eventually there's this giant energy, like, I don't know how you explain it. It's just some giant yellow thingy in the air, and it shows images of Baragon, Mothra, and King Ghidorah. I assumed it was the energy of those monsters. I have no idea, but it went into Godzilla, and then he sank into the ocean, and then a minute later he blew up. Forgot to mention, I'm in editing right now, and I forgot to mention something. He had a wound, basically, that humans were aiming at to shoot the wound, to injure him, to try and kill him. and after he sinks to the ocean, he gets up eventually, and then he gets shot. He gets shot in that wounds, and he tries to fire atomic breath at two people, but instead of it coming out of his mouth, it goes out of his wound, and he just can't handle it, and he falls into the ocean, and then he blows up. So yeah, I really enjoyed the final battle. I really enjoyed that final battle. It was a nice long battle, or at least it felt long anyway. I do enjoy like long battles, like for example Avengers, the first Avengers movie. The final battle in New York is like half an hour long. I just love that scene. I could watch that scene over and over again, and it's this hopefully the 2019 movie has something similar to this monster movie as well, where it's just one long fight at the end. That would be awesome. I'm sure we'll get one-on-one fight though, for sure. But yeah, still, yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Just that final battle. I keep mentioning it, but I really enjoyed it. At the end, they also teased that, because at this point you think Godzilla's dead, but he's not dead. Well, he might not be dead, because they go underwater and you see some massive heartbeat or something. And I was looking at it I was looking at it and thinking, where's his head? I was pausing it, and I was like, I mean, I'm guessing it's Godzilla, but where's his body? Where's his head? I mean, I see his body, but I was like, where is? Okay, I was a bit confused, but maybe his head exploded. I have no idea. I have no idea, but it was a pretty cool follow up to the original. Yeah. So next movie is something, because I haven't even unlocked my phone yet. Fantastic preparation, this Davidoff. Just turn your phone off. Godzilla versus... No, actually, no, that's a different era. Sorry about that. Godzilla against Mechagodzilla in 2002. So that should be good. So I've watched 4 movies now. Godzilla 2000, Godzilla vs. Megaguirus, Monsters All Out Attack, and Mechagodzilla. Godzilla against Mechagodzilla. Is it just me, or is the design from the first 2 movies that I watched in this episode different from the other 2? Is it just me, or is it because I feel like they changed the design from the first 2 to the next 2, even though it's the same period. But I know they're not connected anyway. But still, I was just wondering, because am I just seeing things, or have they made it? Have they changed it mid-period? But anyway, yeah, it doesn't really matter, to be honest. What they have changed though is the atomic breath. In the first 2 movies, he glowed sort of purplish, and his atomic breath was like red. This one definitely blue, these last 2 movies. But anyway, yeah, humans, this is a direct sequel to 54. Humans use original Godzilla's dead Godzilla's bones to create a new Mechagodzilla to fight a new Godzilla that turns up to destroy Japan. And yeah, it focuses around a female pilot who, at the start of the movie, she makes a decision and some soldiers die, and she gets blamed for it by another soldier. So there's some arguments there throughout the movie. And it focuses around her because she pilots Mechagodzilla. So she uses Mechagodzilla obviously to fight Godzilla. But on the first standoff between the 2 monsters, Mechagodzilla, I'm pretty sure, got flashbacks. I'm pretty sure. I guess the DNA's in the bones, partly anyway, because I saw flashbacks from. I saw the Oxygen Destroyer. I saw the dead bones. Mechagodzilla generally had a flashback to 54, to dying. So yeah, as soon as it heard the actual Godzilla's roar, the new Godzilla's roar, it just got flashbacks, and it didn't respond to her commands. So that was pretty interesting. But yeah, fast forward to the final battle, a big battle between Godzilla and Mechagodzilla. Neither, Godzilla doesn't die. This new Godzilla just doesn't die. But they do drive him away eventually. There's a big battle, and it ends in Godzilla walking away, pretty much. Mechagodzilla, well, she survives in there. She survives. Mechagodzilla is still intact. Damaged a lot, but still, intact. And it's gone back for repair at the end. So that's pretty much the movie. It was pretty enjoyable. It was pretty enjoyable. So, yeah. But, yeah, I'm pretty sure the design changed from Megaguirus movie to the next 2. Which there's no issue with that. I'm just wondering, am I seeing things, or is that true? But anyway, next is Godzilla Tokyo Sos. It's got Mechagodzilla, Mothra, and Kamobas. I don't know what that is, but it should be exciting. Okay, so the climax of that movie was fulfilling. It was a really good, long, drawn-out battle at the end. and a nice ending too. It gave a pretty nice ending, apart from the after credits scene where you get a tease to something else. But still, I enjoyed the battles in this. There's also like, I like how in a lot of Toho movies, there's the human element's actually interesting. Like the humans, like in the 2014 movie, I do love it, but I love it mainly because of the Godzilla action. The humans are not that interesting in that movie. Same in 1998 as well. 1998, I enjoyed it, but humans, not so much. In the Toho movies, not in all of them, but in most of them, the human characters actually like, they're actually interesting. So I just thought I'd mention that. In this one, there is a mechanic. There's lots of mechanics, but there's a main mechanic. I think his name is Chuho. No, that's not how you pronounce it. It's Chujo. This was by the way, this was the first subtitled one I watched. The rest were English dubbed so far. Anyway, yeah, there's a main mechanic who fixes up Mechagodzilla, and there's the main pilot. There's a pilot guy who is the pilot of Mechagodzilla, and his dad is actually the Prime Minister, I'm pretty sure, or the leader of operations with Mechagodzilla. And the mechanic and the pilot, they have disagreements and stuff throughout the movie, so that's pretty interesting. And there's a female pilot as well, who's sort of like in the middle of the two. She's a co-pilot to the pilot, but she's also like friends. No, she also talks to the mechanic as well. They're pretty friendly. She's friendly with both guys basically, but they have disagreements. But yeah, let's just move on to the final just massive battle. I don't know how long it was, but it's pretty long and pretty good. So a signal, in a way, a signal by a kid and his granddad. They set up some chairs, and it's basically a symbol to signal Mothra to come in, because Godzilla's on the warpath. Mechagodzilla's not ready yet, so Mothra comes in and fights Godzilla, and Godzilla's quite brutal, you know. He bit Mothra's leg off. I was just like, okay. By the way, there's also an egg in this. That there is an egg, and it hatches eventually, and out come twin Mothras. You get two lava twin Mothras, so that's very similar to Mothra vs Godzilla in 1962, I think, or 60. It was 60 something. Mothra vs Godzilla. There was the main Mothra who eventually dies, and then you get two lava Mothras coming out of an egg to fight Godzilla. So it's a similar thing there, and another thing happens at the end as well, which is pretty similar to that movie. So that's pretty interesting. But yeah, Godzilla eventually, and Mothra does well for a little while, but Godzilla eventually pretty much beats him. But Mechagodzilla comes in. There's no, like, they don't fully do the checks because it's not fully ready yet, but they have to launch it, have to step in, and Mechagodzilla fights Godzilla. Mothra joins in. The lava Mothras, they join in as well, and it's just a really good battle. And some of the moves are pretty cool. There was one move that was like really cool, and that was a bottle. Sorry, it was really cool and it's funny at the same time. The guy he flipped the pilot inside Mechagodzilla. He flipped Mechagodzilla, flipped Godzilla over his head, just flew up over his head upside down into the floor. It was like a wrestling move. It was just really funny to see monsters do it, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, it's just a really cool long drawn out battle. Then eventually Godzilla's been pretty much, I mean, he's still standing, but he's been battered quite a lot, and the lava Mothra twins, they web Godzilla up. But just before this, Godzilla basically cries out in pain because they fired a lot of weapon and firepower at Godzilla, and Godzilla cries out a big roar. And Mechagodzilla, just like the last movie, has a flashback to 54 and remembers, and it has a mind of its own now at this point. The pilot loses control, has a mind of its own. Oh, I forgot, by the way, Mecha was down at one point, then the mechanic got there to actually fix it again, to like get back up. I forgot to mention that. But yeah, towards the end of the fight, Mecha gained a mind of its own again and refused to fight, and Godzilla was webbed up completely, but by the two lava Mothras. The mother Mothra was pretty much, she was down, it couldn't fly anymore. I don't think, did she die? I can't remember if she died or not, but she definitely can't fly, so that's quite sad. But yeah, but they were gonna, like, Mecha was going to deliver the final blow, and it just refused, gained a mind of its own. What it did was it walked up to Godzilla, and it picked up Godzilla, who was webbed up. And oh yeah, I forgot to mention, by the way, the webbed up Godzilla, that was very similar as well to Mothra vs Godzilla, because the twins web him up and put him in the ocean. And this time Mechagodzilla picks Godzilla up and flies him into the ocean, and flies him down into the ocean because the original Godzilla who died needs to rest, pretty much. So Mechagodzilla takes the new Godzilla down into the ocean, and that's basically the climax. The two love and Mothra, they're still alive. But yeah, it's a pretty fitting climax. A lot of things happen. It's quite emotional as well, the theme song and everything. And it's just done really well. Like, they end it really well for the monsters and for the humans as well. So it's a really nice ending. It sent a message out as well, like, because humans made a lot of mistakes. They need to like own up to them and do better as well. It was sent a nice message. It was a nice ending. It was fitting. Then you get the after credit scene, and when I first saw that tube thing, I thought Oxygen Destroyer, but apparently it's not. I saw the subtitle and it said Godzilla DNA extracted 1999, and I'm like, okay. I mean, I know it's another movie anyway, but still. The next movie is Godzilla Final Wars, and I've heard a lot of things about that because it has a lot of monsters in it. I'm pretty sure I've already seen. Right, it's got Monster X, which is that Ghidorah? I have no idea. It's got Monster X, Kaiser Ghidorah. No idea. Never heard of Kaiser Ghidorah. Zilla. So I'm guessing that's the 1998 Godzilla. Rodan, Mothra, Gigan. I want to see him back. King Caesar. He was pretty cool. I want to see him again. Anguirus, Manila. So baby Godzilla. Kumonga. Oh, it's a pretty cool monster, that. Kamacuras, Manda, Hedorah, and Abira. And then there's others. There's Ghidorah, Varan, Baragon, Gaira, Titanosaurus, and Megaguirus, but they only turn up in stock footage apparently. But still, that is a lot of monsters in one movie. I've checked the timing and it's 2 hours long, so longer than the rest. I'm looking forward to it. Alright, so a lot, and I mean a lot, happens in that movie. I get why it's 2 hours. It could have been more, to be fair, with the amount that was in there. This is like the Infinity War of the monster movies. Actually, no, this one came first. So Infinity War is the Final Wars of Marvel, basically. What I mean by that is, like, it's one big battle. It's not one battle, but it's like it crosses over so many monsters from previous Godzilla movies, puts them all together, and you get so many big battles, and it's pretty crazy. At the start of it, you find out there's mutants. So obviously there's already humans with like telepathic powers and stuff, but now you get like proper like mutants, and they're trained to form a team. It's like, I was thinking, like, is this like the monster version of the X-Men, pretty much? But they're basically there to like defend the world, basically. Basically, the humans have all united around the world to team up and destroy the monsters. And at first you see Captain Gordon and a crew. Captain Gordon is one of the main characters, one of the main human characters. You see a young Captain Gordon destroying Godzilla, trapping him under ice, and you don't see him again till like an hour into the movie, pretty much. And then, like, after the opening credits, like the first scene you see, there's Ghidorah. Ghidorah gets destroyed underwater by Captain Gordon as well. Actually, wait, was it Ghidorah or Manda? Because I swear he had one head at one point. Maybe I got confused. It's one of the two. Anyway, the point is, Gordon, there's a lot of ships around the world, but Captain Gordon's ship and his crew, they destroy one of the monsters. And yeah, it develops into eventually an alien race coming around, because there's a UFO. Basically, there's a lot of monsters going around destroying stuff. So it's not just Japan this time. This time you get like the world in general. Like, I can't name all of them, but you get Rodan in America and New York. Kamacuras, I think, is the name of the thing. That was in Paris. Zilla from '98, the American Zilla, was destroying Sydney. I'll tell you what though, the effects for the most part are fine, but the Zilla effects in this movie just looked really bad. Like, you could just tell it was so obviously, like, it was pretty bad, to be honest. But at least you knew it was Zilla, and he was destroying Sydney. Anguirus was in Shanghai. King Caesar was somewhere. I don't remember where he was. And then you see Manila as well. You see little Manila just hiding somewhere, who's not causing destruction. It's only a little beast as well. And yeah, eventually all the monsters are taken by the UFO, and yeah, they pretend to be friendly at first, and I can just tell, as soon as you see a UFO and an alien race in a Godzilla movie, you just know they're going to be evil. Like, I can just tell they were going to be evil, like, all along. And eventually, humans, Captain Gordon, a few others, and a few mutants, they found out about this. All the mutants found out about this. But there's a thing called the M-base gene or something, and the aliens use this gene to control mutants and monsters. There's a gene that mutants and monsters have that they can use to control them. So it's pretty crazy what they do. But all the monsters they took away from destroying the world, they now control them. They also have Gigan as well, so they have a lot of firepower. So they got the plan is, well, first of all, humans get away because they get control of all the mutants except one, pretty much. Somehow they couldn't mind control this one mutant. He was an important part of the story. But yeah, one mutant and a few of the humans, Captain Gordon, a few others, they escape. And yeah, basically the plan is to wake up Godzilla, because Godzilla was trapped in ice. So they went to wake up Godzilla. Aliens sent Gigan after him as well to try and stop him, but Godzilla broke out. And then this is when Godzilla just destroys a lot of the monsters. It is just some pretty cool, quite quick, to be fair, quite quick, but overall some pretty cool monster battles. First of all, he destroys Gigan when he breaks out of the ice. He just wrecks him. Gigan has him in like chains, and not chains, but he has him tied around. Godzilla finds atomic breath and just blows his head off. It was like a proper brutal battering, brutal killing. And then he destroys 1998 Zilla in Sydney, throws him into the opera house, and then atomic breaths him. Pretty mental. At this point, the alien's just getting annoyed. The alien leader, he just really getting annoyed at this. And then Godzilla destroys Kumonga. I don't know if he kills him, but he spins him around and throws him away like his trash. And then he gets to Megaguirus. He's like a mantis, isn't he? At first I thought, this is a giant ant. I was like, wait, who's this again? But yeah, Megaguirus, I'm pretty sure. I googled it. I'm pretty sure it's Megaguirus. And he killed Megaguirus on some electrical wires. And then the alien releases Rodan, King Caesar, and Anguirus at the same time. And Godzilla beats all three of them. Eventually, like after a couple minutes, he destroys all three of them. Or not at this point, even now, I'm not sure if he kills those three either, because you never really see him killing all three. He just knocks them all out, puts them in a pile on top of each other. And then after that, you see like a 5-second clip of Abera and Ghidorah. Pretty much, one of them gets thrown out of the water into a building. The other one gets thrown out of the water on top of the one into the building. And then Godzilla comes out of the water and just destroys them both with atomic breath. So yeah, I just thought like, okay, I wanted to see a bit more of those two, but there we go. And then after that was Kaiser Ghidorah, which looked pretty crazy. There's like the final monster pretty much, and it looked pretty cool. It looked pretty cool. And while this is happening, obviously, pretty much the aliens, they capture the human group. So Captain Gordon, one of the mutants, who's actually really powerful, by the way, but he doesn't. He knows he has powers. He doesn't. He gets his powers eventually after, I'm pretty sure. But they capture these humans. They want to use them as cattle because they need humans for this M-base thing. So they want to like have humans as cattle basically to like survive this alien race. But eventually you get all these battles, and the mutant, the mutant they couldn't control basically fights the main alien leader. There's a massive battle on the ship. It's a bit like, at first, for a second I thought like, is this like Star Wars? Because you get this little gun ray shooting and you're fighting on some round ship. It just reminded me a bit of Star Wars sometimes. But yeah, you get some pretty cool fight scenes. Eventually the alien ship, it self-explodes. The group of humans get out in their ship. And by then I'm pretty sure Kaiser Ghidorah breaks free of his mind control. Oh yeah, before that, by the way, before all this explosion, Mothra comes in and helps Godzilla. And they also send in Gigan again. And I'm like, oh, I thought it was destroyed. But Gigan comes in again, and pretty much he takes out Mothra. But Mothra's still there. Mothra and Godzilla take on Gigan and Kaiser Ghidorah. I'm pretty sure the alien said he was a Kaiser as well, and the mutant was a Kaiser. And I was like, well, what does Kaiser mean? I'm so confused. I'm so confused. But yeah, I guess it's just people that are not people. Sorry, I don't know. But that monster was a Kaiser. But this, I guess, people with the M base in them is a Kaiser. I have no idea what it meant. But anyway, I was enjoying it. There's a lot of things going on in here, and eventually Mothra's just taken out of it eventually. But Godzilla eventually takes out Gigan again, destroys him. Then you get this Kaiser Ghidorah. After the UFO explodes, Kaiser Ghidorah just basically like he grows his wings out and his heads come out as well. So you get more like of a proper Ghidorah instead of like a Kaiser one. And you get some big battle, and then Ghidorah's taking energy from Godzilla pretty much, and Godzilla's getting drained out. But the humans, the mutants, he uses his power, because he used his power to defeat the alien first before the explosion, and then he uses his power in their ship to fire up Godzilla, and Godzilla uses that to kill King Ghidorah, destroys him pretty much, just shoots him into the air, into pieces, and yeah, it's a pretty brutal death for Ghidorah. But yeah, it's kind of fitting that the final monster battle of the movie was Godzilla versus King Ghidorah. That was just a really fitting monster battle. Then Godzilla's about to kill some humans because he still has a problem with humans, obviously. And then Minilla comes in and tells him to stop. Also, Minilla actually gains size as well during the movie, so that was pretty interesting. But yeah, Minilla stops Godzilla from destroying humans. And yeah, the movie just... Well, there's other stuff there as well, but the movie pretty much it ends with that battle and stuff. And yeah, it was pretty interesting. There was a lot in there. Alien race, mutants, a group of mutants, world defense, I don't know what the group was called, some sort of defense force. Aliens by controlling the monsters and mutants as well. One of the mutants stopped helping to save the world as well. Waking up Godzilla to destroy all the monsters that are mind controlled, which is everyone else apart from Mothra and Godzilla. There was just a lot going on, and yeah, it was pretty cool. I kind of wanted more from it, just because of some battles was just so short. Just Gigan just got destroyed twice pretty quickly. He didn't even get to make Godzilla bleed this time, which isn't really a bad thing, but still. Yeah, just some monsters just got taken out pretty easily and pretty quickly. But yeah, it was still pretty good. It was still pretty good to see all these monsters come about. And yeah, that was the final movie of that era. And the next Godzilla movie from that era was 2014. So yeah, I'm not gonna watch 2014 next though. Next will be Shin Godzilla and the animated trilogy. So yeah, that'll be next episode. But yeah, it's been good. I've enjoyed that movie. It wasn't like perfect. Like some of the effects were a bit off, especially on 98 Godzilla. But I enjoyed the battles mainly. I enjoyed the battles. I feel like they still could have made a great movie if they removed the aliens out of it, because I don't think they were needed in the story, to be fair. Because Godzilla fighting all the other monsters is good enough for plot. But it's still pretty cool to add on aliens as well. But you know, they weren't really needed. Neither were the mutants for me. But I still enjoyed it. There was a lot of like over the top music as well during the action scenes. I don't mind it, to be fair. I love movie soundtracks, but this one's a bit like too over the top sometimes. But still, it was just a really fun. That's the perfect way to like describe this movie. It was just fun to watch these monsters like duke it out. Mainly Godzilla against everyone else, but still, it was still awesome to see all that. So yeah, there we go. That's the end of this episode. Probably the longest one. I'm not really sure at this point. Yeah, I've been making these very long, but it's just that talking about these just I get carried away with time. But yeah, the last few should be shorter anyway, because the next one's 4 movies, and the one after that is just the American ones, along with like. There's a King Kong movie I got recommended, 1933. I'm going to add that on to the American episode. I'm probably just going to do one episode with just American adaptations, and I might add on King Kong 33 as well. Also King Kong 05, just because it's also this marathon is a build up to King of the Monsters, but also to Godzilla vs Kong as well. So I thought I'd add some Kong movies in, and obviously I'll add 2017 in as well for like the last episode. But yeah, this is your boy Davidoff. Please like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a good day, and see ya.